All right, guys, so welcome back to English 2, and we are starting another week, week 2 of 3. At least heading into spring break, it is starting to sound more and more likely that we will be doing this at least through April, but no confirmation on that just yet. I hope that you are all staying safe. I know the governor yesterday issued basically a shelter-in-place order where we're going to be closing most non-essential businesses to alleviate some of the strain on the economy. Well, not on the economy, but on supplies, and also it's this idea that if we do this now, it might benefit us later. All right, so what you're going to need for this week is the Act 3 PDF, which you can find here. All right, you're also going to need the questions, which I have posted in their entirety. All right, you will have your own copy. This is mine. This is the master copy. It's what they make the template off of. I have also posted a video for the plan for this week. I have a beautiful face in the thumbnail. I'm sure you're like, Miss Theobald, why do you look so angry? And then last but not least, if you have a second and could answer this question for me that I've posted for your Caesar activities and just what's working in this class, what's not working in this class, I would just really appreciate it. It'll help me determine kind of what I'm going to be doing as we move forward in this class, especially if this goes a little longer than anticipated, okay? All right, with that being said, I am going to pull up the reading. As always, I'm going to have the questions on the right and the text on the left. We're going to be heading into Act 3, so just really quickly before I start my timer, Act 3 is the time where Caesar dies. So they've successfully managed to convert Brutus to their cause, and now he is planning on killing Caesar as well. Oh, what the heck. And so today is the day. Today is the day where Caesar will die, and they're very paranoid, okay? But Artemidorus, in the last scene, right before we got into this one, actually wrote a letter to Caesar and wanted to let him know, hey, I'm worried for you. There seems to be something wrong here. All right, by my estimates, we're going to get through the first 5 questions along the right-hand side, and that's going to be who thwarts Artemidorus in his attempt to warn Caesar? What happens to make Cassius believes that the conspiracy has been discovered? Does Cassius give himself half-heartedly to the conspiracy, or does he commit himself? What does Metellus do as a ploy to engage Caesar's attention? And then is Caesar truly humble, or is he conceited? Conceited means to be like full of yourself, and then humble obviously means to not be full of yourself. So this number 5 here, if it's on your question packet, it is an opinion, but you should cite evidence to support your claim, okay? So I'm going to continue reading on. Think of what we know of Caesar at this point anyway. All right, I'm going to pull up my timer. I've got Maggie here with me. She's a wild time. I think she's actually asleep. All right, and today we have a drink choice change. Okay. All right, starting my 20-minute timer. Drink choice is Diet Cherry Pepsi. I knew you were riveted, so I thought I'd let you know. All right, so scene 1 of Act 3, flourish with entering Caesar, Antony, Lepidus, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Metellus, Trebonius, Cinna, Publius, Popilius, Artemidorus, the soothsayer, and the senators and petitioners. Guys, I wish I had a posse as awesome as Caesar's. I don't have nearly this many friends, which I think is always just wild. All right. Many conspirators are amongst this group. Obviously, they need to be close to Caesar if they're going to stab him. All right. So Caesar says the Ides of March are come, and soothsayers, I, Caesar, but not gone. Okay. So Caesar's all like, I'm alive. It's the Ides of March, like whatever. And the soothsayer's like, yeah, but they're still happening, dude. Artemidorus is like, hail Caesar, read this schedule, which means letter. And Decius says, Trebonius doth desire to do, O Arid, as your best leisure, this humble suit. Okay, so Decius is like, Trebonius has something else that he wants to talk to you about. He's like, so you should read his letter first. And Artemidorus is like, no, Caesar, read my letter first. The letter where I'm going to tell you that you're going to be murdered today. Read mine first, for mine suits that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar, read it. But Caesar doesn't know that Artemidorus' story or letter would include that information. Right? And Caesar's like, well, what touches us ourselves shall last be served. He's like, well, if it's the most important thing to me, then I should read it last, because we shouldn't worry about our own, desires the most. And Artemidorus is like, delay not, Caesar, read it now. He's like, dude, come on, I'm trying to save your butt here. And Caesar's like, what is this fellow, mad? He's like, dude, what's wrong with you? And Publius is like, Sirrah, give place. And he's like, dude, get out of the way. Okay. And we already know that Decius is on the side of the conspiracy, and I believe Publius is too. And Cassius is like, what urge you, the petitions in the street, come to the Capitol. All right. So Cassius is like, come on, let's go to the Capitol. And so Caesar goes forward. Number 1 is this one right here, who thwarts Artemidorus in his attempt to warn Caesar of the plot against him. All right, so Artemidorus is right here and right here. We could interpret it that Decius can thwart him, or we could also interpret it as Publius, or I would even argue that Caesar thwarts him in his own plan, as well as Artemidorus. He almost oversells it here, and then Caesar's like, well, I'm not interested if it serves me the most because I am a man of the people, you know. And so ultimately, I think you could make a case for one of the 4. You are welcome to choose which one you think ultimately hinders Artemidorus's message here. All right. Publius to Cassius. And he's like, I wish your enterprise today may thrive. And Cassius is like, what enterprise, Publius? And so enterprise is just your mission or your plan. And Cassius is like, wait, what? Publius isn't in our plan. He's like, what enterprise, Publius? And Publius is like, fare you well. And then walks away. So literally a guy like wanders into the scene, tells him, hey, I hope your enterprise today may thrive. And then he just like leaves. And Cassius is all like, wait, that guy's not part of our conspiracy. What does he mean when he says he wants our enterprise to thrive? All right. And so Cassius, he says, he wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. And that's what this little like tilde means every time, or this like accent, is you basically add another syllable. So discovered. Brutus says, look how he makes to Caesar, mark him. So Brutus is like, watch him. I think he knows what's going on with us. And then Cassius says, Casca, be set in, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done if this not be known? Cassius or Caesar shall never turn back, for I will slay myself. Cassius is a little intense. I mean, let's look a little bit at this number 3. So he has said on multiple occasions that he would be willing to die for this plan. I think that tells you everything you need to know to answer number 3 here, right? Number 2, what happens, that's going to be answered around here-ish, okay? So Publius, the conversation between Publius, Cassius, and Brutus, kind of explain that out. But Brutus is like, Cassius, be constant. Publius, Lena, speaks not for our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change. So he's like, Cassius freaks out. He's like, I think we've been discovered. And Brutus is like, calm yourself. He's like, look, they're talking, everything's fine, I'm not worried, all right? All right, so Trebonius then says, Cassius says, Trebonius knows that his time, for look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way. So Trebonius has been charged with removing Antony from the fray to make sure that Antony is not hurt in all of this as well, because remember, they had a conversation in which Antony would not die because of this, all right? And then DC says, where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar. So back when we used to have kings, you would come to the kingdom or the capital and you would bring your problems to them, or you would bring your complaints or your concerns to the king there. And so Caesar is going to become king, and so that's what is happening here. All right. So Metellus is going to go talk to Caesar and tell him a problem that he believes he has. Brutus says he is addressed, press near and second him. Okay, so he's like, let's get closer. Casca. And then Cinna says, Casca, you are the first that rears your hand. Okay. So Casca's going to be the first one to stab. He's going to be the leader on this one. All right, Caesar, are we all ready? That is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress. Okay, so Caesar's like, okay, what do you need, Metellus? What is wrong that we need to redress, make right? And Metellus kneels in front of Caesar, because remember, Caesar will be king. And he says, most high and mighty, most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat an humble heart. And Caesar immediately interrupts him. He's like, I must prevent thee, Cimber. These couchings and these lovely curtsies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from true quality with that which melteth fools, I mean sweet words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished, if Thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him. I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. Caesar kind of goes on a bit of a tangent here, and this can all play into your answers for number 5. Is he full of himself or is he humble? So Caesar says, like, as soon as Metellus approaches him, he's like, dude, I don't need your curtsies. I don't need your nice words. He's like, mortals, regular men might be, swayed by those things, but not me. No, I am Caesar, and that won't happen here. All right. He says, to think that Caesar bears so troubled blood that will be thawed from the true quality which melteth fools. He's like, I won't be melted by this. I won't be melted by sweet words or curtsies or fawning, which means to, like, pour over someone. He's like, look, your brother's banished. If you want to, pray and fawn all over me, that's fine, but I will spurn you. I will kick you like a cur, a dog, out of my way. And then Metellus says, is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother? Right? So once again, Metellus is like, hey, my brother's banished. I would really like to make that not the case anymore. Is there any way we can fix this? And Brutus kneels. I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have immediate freedom of repeal. He's like, I second Metellus's wish here. I really want his brother to be his banishment to be repealed. And Caesar's like, what, Brutus? And then Cassius kneels. Pardon, Caesar, pardon. As low as the foot doth fall, Cassius, to be a good enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. So now you've got 3 men all begging for this man to be, his banishment to be repealed in front of Caesar. And it's almost like they're overwhelming. Like 3 men have all like swarmed forward to pray for the same suit. All right. Caesar says, if I could be moved, I could well be moved if I were as you. If I could be prayed to move, prayers would move me. But I am as constant as the northern star. He's like, I wish I could change my feelings on this, but I am constant like the northern star in the sky. And for those true fixed and resting quality, there is no fellow in this firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine, but there's one in all that doth hold his place. And so in this world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are all flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, the unassailable holds his rank, unshaked of motion, and I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and constant to remain and keep him so. He's like, I will not be moved on this. I am constant like the northern star. I am constant in all ways. He's like, I made that decree stands. He's like, that is not going to change. And Cinna's like, and so Cinna comes up now. So you got 4 guys all begging Caesar, oh, come on, take this back. Cinna, oh, Caesar. And then Caesar's like, hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus? And Decius is like kneeling. So now you got 5 guys all kneeling in front of him. And then Caesar's, doth thou now, Brutus, bootless kneel? What a tongue twister, right? And Casca's like, speak hands for me. All right. And so that's the sign. So as Casca strikes, the others rise up and stab Caesar. And Caesar literally turns around and says one of the most famous lines in all Shakespearean plays, et tu, Brute, then fall Caesar. Et tu, Brute literally means, and you too, Brutus. Like he's almost surprised that his friend is part of this. He's like, I can't believe this. And then Caesar dies. All right, that's the last thing Caesar says. And then Cinna says, liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run, hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets. He's like, yay, this tyrant, this person, he's dead. Remember, because they see Caesar as this tyrant where he like stomps with his big feet and they have to walk out of the way. And then Cassius is like, some to common pulpits and cry out liberty, freedom, enfranchisement. He's like, which is just tyranny is dead. And then Brutus is like, people and senators, be not affrighted, fly not, stand still, ambition status page. So, okay, so these guys, these 5 dudes, all just stabbed a man in front of a group of people. And like Brutus literally turns around and goes, people and senators, be not affrighted. Sorry, hold on, I don't know what happened. He turns around and he's like, dudes, don't worry. We just want to stab this one. You're fine. And then Casca's like, go to the pulpit, Brutus. And Decius is like, and Cassius too. A pulpit is like a space where you would stand to give a speech. And then Brutus is like, where's Publius? And then Cinna says, here, quite confounded with this mutiny. And Metellus, stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's should chance. Brutus, talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person nor to Rome. So tell them, Publius. All right. So he's like, so Publius shows up, and they're like, don't worry, Publius. We're not here to hurt you. I'm not interested in hurting you. Don't sweat it. All right. And then Cassius, and leave us, Publius, lest the people rushing in on us should do your age some mischief. So he's like, Publius, you need to leave because I don't want something bad to happen to you. And then Brutus says, do so and let no man abide this deed, but we the doer. He's like, don't let anybody else claim that this was done by someone else. We are the ones that did it. All right. And so we're going to come back to this tomorrow because there's a really interesting way that Antony kind of goes about this. So just kind of keep an eye peeled for that. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I am here for you. You may text me or email me. Either one is fine. Have a great Monday, guys, and I cannot wait to talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.